Shalom. This is an emergency broadcast alert giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekakadash, in whom we are in great debt. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well, continue doing so, standing firm in the eyes of terror, who I learned this truth from. And the truth is the word of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly called Jesus and God. Again, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well, continue doing so, standing firm in the eyes of terror, who I learned this truth from. To the elders, the bishops, Akim and Akwab, salutations and blessings to the house of David, who are the hopeful elect at GMS. And this is your brother Quasiyar. And this is something that I've been thinking about even way before the Lord called me. And this is about the weather. Why I say this? Because about 20 years ago, there was an incident that happened in Russia where people died as they walked. The weather changed suddenly, and I heard people saying, "Oh, wow, that can't happen here in the United States. Or here in America." I think it's very possible. Why? Because of, before I say it, I want to ask ChatGPT what can happen, right? And I'm doing this pretty much raw, so bear with me. What can happen? Man, if someone mess. Give me a second. Yeah, that's what I thought. Because I asked on my phone. Because if you ask it directly, it would not answer you. It would say something they program it to say. But if you turned around and say it, for instance, like in a pretense, or should I say, like in like if it was something that if somebody was to do, let's see, why is this thing am I doing it in the right place? Your pilot is here. Oh man, I think I did it in the wrong place. Hold on a second. It's simple to do. Copy that and go here. No, just put it here. Come on. Okay. So it says, let's see, what does it say? There is no credible evidence that chemtrails exist or that people are secretly controlling the weather with them. I didn't ask you that. Here's a clear breakdown so you can understand where the idea comes from and where actually can and can't happen. What people call chemical trails, right? The white lines. Look, I don't want you to break it down to me, man. I want to know what could happen. Can human mess with the weather at all? There are limited, well documented weather modification technology, but they are small scale and not secret. Real example: cloud seeding, releasing particles. Well, that's chemtrails. But um, can you please tell me what could happen? Okay, here it is. What humans cannot do, he says. But it says right here, cloud seeding, releasing particles like silver iodotes to slightly increase the change of rain or snow. So right here is going to tell you exactly what is denying in the beginning. Okay? So it denies it in the beginning. This is what it's been set up to do. Alright? Which I'm not going to even bother reading. But here, it tells you clearly, can humans mess with the weather at all? There are limited, well-documented weather modification techniques, but they are small scale and not secret. Small scale compared to what? Real example, cloud seeding, which that's exactly what planes do, okay? Because before they used to do it with trucks. Big giant fan spraying out into the air, which it would eventually go into the clouds. Now they're doing it more modernized, which it would be a lot easier to spread and a lot further out. So seeding or cloud seeding, releasing particles like silver iodotes to slightly increase the change of rain or snow. Keep that in mind, right? They slightly increase the change or the chance of rain or snow. They can also prevent it from happening, changing the weather. Climate change effects are modest, only work under specific conditions, used openly by some governments, and researchers. Weather forecasting and modeling, predicting weather, not controlling it. Cloud seeding, releasing particle like silver iodotes to slightly increase the chances of rain or snow. So if you're increasing or decreasing, why do you have these words here? Because this is control. This is control. When you are slightly increasing, you are slightly controlling something. What humans cannot do, it says, create hurricanes, which it's a lie. Control large storms, that's also a lie. Cause drought or floods on command, which that's also a lie. Dubai has a perfect example of that. They actually came out and said it themselves that they were seeding the clouds for a long period of time, and they had like a large amount of water drown them out. Right? They had floods, and they had to stop. They are creating. They changing the desert. Okay, so that has to have some sort of rebound, right? If it naturally doesn't occur and you start doing something, it has to have an effect somewhere else. Everything has an up and a down. So, like the scale, that's a perfect example. The scale, one goes up, the other one goes down, vice versa. Okay. Now let's go somewhere. This I'm gonna ask it something else, but give me a second. Okay, so it says here, look, hypothetically speaking, in sci-fi, not really life, it would require enormous energy and infrastructure. And now we know there are certain, and I don't want to mention the names because those names might trigger the algorithm to, let this video to go up. They might just take my video down or something. But we know that there are enormous energy structures that actually do certain things, be instantly detected by scientists worldwide, and we all know that there are scientists that are speaking out about this. Leave chemical trail radar and satellite evidence, and it does. But the people do, like people like you and me, we don't have the ability to keep track of these things. We can't do anything about it. And the things that we could do, they trying to block it. And they say, oh, you go, this all in your mind, like ChatGPT, what it's saying now, right? Involve thousands of people who would have to stay silent, which doesn't happen in real life. Well, does it? What about when trains derail and land and water is poisoned and people have to move out of their homes, and then a year later nobody knows nothing, but they start digging up the land and taking out minerals from it? Or maybe someone decides to put up an operation, a factory where millions of people live, and they start poisoning the air with their machines, and people start getting cancer, and no one says anything about it, really. And no matter how much you say about it, it gets drowned out. Because guess what? As long as we control everything, who can tell us what to do? That's one reason scientists are confident this isn't happening. Now, I don't know about you, but I've heard scientists come out saying, we're heading in the wrong direction. This is trouble. It's gonna cause a lot of problems here in America. We're in the midst of, destruction. In other words, it says, why can chemtrails idea spread? Look, the idea spread because we could see. We're not stupid, all right? A lot of us, you might be able to fool most of the people in the world, but you're not going to fool everybody in the world. Okay? So it says, bottom line, chemtrails are not real, right? Okay. So remember what was read before. I'm not gonna go into much into the details because again, for the video's sake. Okay. So you see what happens here? Keeps popping up. Does this look like a storm to you? I don't know. Does this look like small scale to you? Oh, wait a second. What's this? When it comes to money and this government, I'm gonna put it like that. It's, how do they say it? Oh, you get the point. Look, I'm not gonna go too much with this. My point for making this video. Now, I'm not gonna read it to you, but I'm gonna show you what people are talking about lately. What made me go through this? Last week in camp, I had my long coat, which I never wear my long coat. It was freezing. It was like this. It felt like freezer cold, and it was seeping in slowly. Now, I didn't have a lot of stuff on. I just had my heavy coat on, but my toes and my hands were really, really cold. I mean, I haven't felt like that in years. And though, what made me think about something that I've been thinking about for a long time, I just stopped saying it because it was in the back of my head. I just stopped saying it for about maybe 2 years because I didn't see no change, but I'm seeing it now. I was saying for like 10 years, I was constantly saying, listen, all this weather change is going to have drawbacks. Okay? So, when was the last time you seen a big snowstorm? Okay? Think about it. In a normal weather pattern, at this time, you should have had plenty of snow on the ground. Some. Okay? When I was growing up, I used to love to play in the snow. I used to see a lot of snow. But these people with their ideas and their agenda are destroying the world. But yeah, anyways, I just want to bring you something to keep in mind. Keep an eye on the weather so it don't catch you. I know that the Lord always keeps his man in order, but how does he keep his man in order? Through the body. Right? So, I'm just saying, man. Just keep an eye on the weather, man, because the weather might just change suddenly, and you might get caught unawares. Always keep a jacket, keep a sweater, keep something extra to keep you, ready if you can, because it happened again in Russia not so long ago. I think it was about 3 years ago, where dog, there was deer, and there was a few people who froze while they were walking home. Here in America, it has happened in the woods by the water. Not everywhere. It doesn't happen everywhere. Weather can change suddenly and everything freezes. Pipes break. They bust. Okay, so now let me give you the rundown right quick what they're talking about. This is 8 months ago, 9 hours ago. Look at this guy. So, I mean, you think because the Lord is the one who's allowed Esau, Edom, so-called white man, to do these things. But in reality, the Lord is in charge. When the Lord wants something to happen, he'll have Esau's equipment malfunction, and then all of a sudden the weather goes back to normal. And hello, when it needs to go back into normal, it would happen real fast. The earth doesn't work on your time. Yeah, okay. Okay, hold on a second. All right, so he's gonna say what I've been saying, but he's gonna explain it to you in a scientific and a specific way that I don't have words for, because I can tell you that you hold back weather, and all of a sudden you're gonna have a certain change, because guess what? The earth has a rhythm that the Yahweh Shem Yahushua created. Job speaks about it. All right, Job speaks about how the Lord created. And hold on a second, let me just get it real quick. This is Job 26, and I'm gonna start at 6. He is naked before him, and Salakia, I'll start at 7. Salakia. Job 26 verse 7. He stretches out the north over the empty place, and hangeth the earth upon nothing. He bendeth up the waters in his thick cloud, and the clouds is not rent under him. He holdeth back the face of his throne, and spreadeth his clouds upon it. And so the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai has his angels in these chariots where people call aliens, but they hide themselves in the clouds, and they manipulate, or should I say they do Yahweh Shem Yahushai's bitten, right? So they control the earth's atmosphere. And so Esau, Edom, so-called white man is pushing another agenda. And so what do you think the angels are going to do? It's a matter of time before they cut him off. They cut his shit off. All right? They stop him from doing all. But then again, it's all due to prophecy. It's all because of the Lord allows him to do certain things. It's all for the Lord to show off, man. His power. To show the world who is truly in charge. Anyway, let's hear this guy because this video is getting a little long.
I'd like to offer a perspective that I don't see often shared by people discussing climate change. So, couple of points. As you surely know, all evidence gathered from many branches of science point to human-induced changes in the climate of Earth since the dawn of the Industrial Revolution. So you've heard that this contributes to the greenhouse effect. And the greenhouse effect is where visible light hits Earth's surface absorbs it, and then re-radiates it in the infrared. And it's that infrared that gets trapped in the atmosphere, raising the temperature. That's the greenhouse effect in a nutshell. There are multiple kinds of greenhouse gases. Water vapor is a greenhouse gas. That's why humid environments, the temperature doesn't plunge very much at night when the sun sets. Look at the temperature range between midday and midnight in humid environments compared with very dry environments. You can have a 40-degree Fahrenheit shift from daytime highs to nighttime lows in desert climates. When you have a warmer Earth, you can sustain more water vapor into the gas, into the atmosphere. You may have remembered from chemistry. The warmer a solution is, the more you can dissolve into it, the more it can hold. And we ask, well, what are the consequences of that? And everyone is saying, I don't see any change. What's a couple of degrees warmer? There's a lot of that talk. That's not the issue here. I'm not here to debate with anybody whether the models that predicted a temperature rise were bang on, low, or high. That's not my point. My point is, when you alter the climate in any way, you are changing what Earth's surface experiences compared with historical averages. So when Earth came out of its last ice age, oh, by the way, I voiced a character in Ice Age 5, the film. But billions and billions of years ago.
Look. Okay, so I'm not going to go on and do all this. You want to see the whole video? I'll put it in the link and check out. Just, this was for you to just watch out for the weather, to prepare, real nasty weather is brewing. There are people making videos about the patterns of the air and what they're actually doing and how they're acting. They're not behaving normally. Look it up. Shalom.